Tammie's Travel Tales, losing people on tour. My admin assistant Cheryl has begged me not to tell this story. She reckons that I'm going to send us broke. But, you know, people keep coming. Even though I might lose you on a tour, I have had people come back and book in again. Not this particular woman though, as yet. That only happened this year. It's happened a few times. Keep in mind, I've run over 80 tours and retreats. It's quite a lot of people, and I can only remember this happening on 3 occasions. So now I've created this buddy system. But sometimes you have a crap buddy, or on this occasion, we actually had a very high guide to guest ratio. We sort of had one guide to every 3 or 4 guests. So what happens in those situations when you've got 3 or 4 guides is that everyone thinks that the other person is doing the counting of the people when they get back on the bus. So this year when we were in India, on the very first day, we left someone in the loo at the Lotus Temple and drove off on the bus up the road without them. And fortunately, we didn't get very far because the boys on the bus were handing out bottles of water, and then the person who was sitting beside the missing person realised that she wasn't there. All panic broke loose when we realised that we'd left somebody behind. Oh, it was terrible. The bus hadn't even stopped, and the boys, the guides that were with us, they were off and running up the street before the bus had even stopped. And the person we left behind was not worried at all. She was like, well, I knew you were going to realise that you'd missed me and come back for me. She was just waiting out the front of this tourist attraction for us. Oh, terrible. And to make matters worse, there was an educational campaign taking place in Delhi at the time. And there were billboards everywhere that said, leave no woman behind. And it was in relation to educating girls and young women. But every time we drove past one, I saw all of the participants in my group look at me like, yeah, Tammie, leave no woman behind. That should be your motto. I've also done it in Bali before. Bali, I don't know why, but they really tint the windows on all the cars. So I'm trying to do a quick head count, but I couldn't really see. Anyway, someone was shopping for CDs. We left her behind. It's often the person too who's most frightened of being left behind. You think they'd keep up, wouldn't you, in that case? So anyway, look, stuff happens when you're traveling and on tour, but we haven't ever really lost anybody. Oh, what about, there was Del and Linda that got lost. Getting lost is a bit different to leaving someone behind. So we have had a couple of people got kidnapped into a shop in Udaipur once, but we did eventually find them. But one of the things that I always do, and a good tip for you when you're traveling, is to take a little card from the hotel that you're staying at, and plus we have our printed itinerary notes at the bottom, which has my number and the guide's number and everybody's phone number and a day-to-day where you're staying and all of that. So if you carry that with you, you're pretty fine. And now we have WhatsApp. So if you can access internet at a cafe or wherever you are, even if you don't have access to your phone, or just turn on your $10 a day data just for one day if you're really desperate to make a call, then, you know, it's not such a problem anymore. But I do remember the old days before mobile phones. And what about when you had to book accommodation? You'd send like a fax to France 6 months in advance, or just kind of trudge around with your Lonely Planet in your hand looking for places. So travel is increasingly, it just feels so convenient to me. But from time to time, things still do happen. And that's actually why we love traveling, because we have new, different and unique experiences. So if you've had an experience of being left behind or getting lost in your travels, I'd love to hear about it too. Alrighty, have a great day.